Trekcast.
The galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast.
There we are.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Trekcast, the galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast.
That's right.
We are the most unpredictable. Yes, we are.
Yeah. No, I think of all of them. Yes.
Oh, I'm Scott, and with me is the main original, the OG host, Daniel Reyes.
I don't know if I'm the OG.
Maybe you're not you're the OG. Well, okay, you're not the OG. You're the OG. You're OG for me.
There you go. Whatever. I just hit the buttons, man.
Right.
Hit the buttons. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
How you doing?
This show could go on without Dan. It could go on without me, but it couldn't go on without you.
Well, I can teach you guys, and then you guys can go on without me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. In case you're accidentally killed in like a violent transporter accident.
That's right.
Okay.
Or I end up on the Genesis planet somehow.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
man,
how are you doing?
How you been? Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Happy Mother's Day to everybody that have mothers or have ever had mothers.
That's right.
So, happy Mother's Day, Mom, if you're listening.
Yeah.
So,
yes, happy Mother's Day, Scott's mom.
Yeah.
So,
what are we doing here today?
Oh man, it's a rough one this week. It is a rough one. That's why Dan's not here. It's one of the bad movies. Star Trek V, The Final Frontier.
Yes,
share your pain
also
with us,
known as Bill Shatner's dumpster fire.
Oh my God, yeah. I realized I'd never watched the movie completely until now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough, man. It was rough.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it last night. I watched it about 4 years ago.
Okay.
And then I watched it again last night. I fell asleep during the movie, which is the first time in a long time I've fallen asleep. Like when I intentionally sat down to watch a Star Trek movie.
Yeah.
It's universally and well regarded as a bad movie. It's well accepted as a bad movie. And for multiple reasons.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why it's bad.
First and foremost, it was directed by William Shatner. We'll get into that after.
Yeah.
All that, but
well, and I started analyzing it, as somebody who's getting into that field, screenwriting, and
right.
I've got some issues why it was bad.
Yeah, probably some notes.
I've got some notes. Yeah, I've got some notes. I have some ideas what we could have done different. So
right.
Yeah.
So we'll make sure we get those notes to William Shatner into the late hard.
Yeah. Like 40 years too late. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll be fun to talk about at least,
Absolutely.
And then the next show we've got one of the good ones. I'm just going to country.
So. My favorite of the original series movies. So
yeah, it's really good. I do remember that liking that one a lot. So
should we let everybody know right off the bat that next week we're going to be recording an hour early?
That's what I was going to say. Yes.
Okay.
Special note. Yes, we will be recording an hour early next week. So beware of that, people.
Yeah, it was in my rider that I have to have an hour early next week.
That's right.
Along with a bowl of M&Ms where all the blue ones are removed. So
that's right.
Can you make sure you make that happen?
We'll see if I can do a show at 6 a.m. for me.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Well, are you you're Mountain Time, right?
Pacific.
Oh, you are. Oh, you're Pacific.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
It's fine.
So for all you Pacific people, we'll be doing the show at 6 a.m.
Yeah. You can catch the recording later.
Right. Yeah. We'll be doing it live at 6. So I expect to hear from some Pacific time people live on the show.
That's not going to happen, but yeah. Unless they're up from the night before, they haven't gone to bed yet.
Right. Well, do we have any? Is there any news this week?
Oh yeah, we got some news. Let's get to
Oh.
the Star Trek news.
Star Trek news.
All right. So our first Star Trek news story comes to us from comicbookmovie.com. And this is kind of fun. So last week we had an update on the Orville. Now we're getting an update on Star Trek Legacy. And this is coming from 7 of 9 herself, Jeri Ryan. She was recently asked about Legacy, and she was asked about that by Screen Rant. And they asked her, hey, what's up with Legacy? Any updates? And she says, well, one thing that this entire Star Trek experience has taught me is that never say never, because I was sure I had said goodbye to this character, walked away from the franchise many years ago, and I never in a million years ever expected to be playing her back on Picard. So who knows? Never say never. End of the quote. So yeah, that's not really much of an update. It's just she's
Also,
trying to.
don't do that. Don't. It's like that scene in Endgame where Black Widow
Give me hope.
finds Hawkeye and is like, I think there's a chance, and Clint's just like, don't give me hope.
Right. Right.
I don't want to. There's nothing. I don't want to cling on to the hope that there is going to be a legacy.
Right.
Because I just want to put it out of my mind. And then when like somebody official, when Paramount or whoever the hell owns Paramount 6 months from now announces it officially, they've done pre-production, they're in production, they're filming stuff. I don't want to hear about it.
Right. Yeah. I'm with you on that. I would rather that if they're gonna do it, just do it. Don't bait me. Don't try to force, internet fervor and still nothing happens.
Right.
So,
right. Because like the Pulp Fiction of Star Trek's coming out next month? The Tarantino Star Trek.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. That's right. Yeah, that never happened either.
Yeah, don't do that to me.
And we still don't have a release date for Strange New Worlds. I mean, we have
That's
the Tribeca Festival. Yeah, that's not cool either. I have a feeling they want to do the whole, and it's also available on Paramount Plus right now.
Yeah,
that's stupid.
I hope not.
I hope not. I hope they actually give us a release date, but whatever. All right.
Okay.
Our next news story comes to us from trekmovie.com. And we are also getting an update from Tawny Newsome, aka Mariner, on her Star Trek workplace comedy. So Tawny was recently walking the red carpet for Star Trek Red Alert. That is that Universal Horror or Fan Fest that they have going right now. Yeah, right. So she's walking the red carpet for that. Oh, good morning, Jazbiz.
Morning,
and
Jazbiz.
And so they asked her a little bit about, hey, what's up with that live action Star Trek comedy you're doing? The one that's based on on a resort planet. Yeah. So last time we got an update on this, she says the premise has evolved, and basically that's pretty much the update that we have here. Is that it has evolved. She says it's very hard not to give spoilers because she's very excited about it, but they haven't shot anything. They're just working on scripts and concepts at this point. But it's moving along. It's being developed. We'll see if it actually happens. She is also a writer on Academy, so that's nice. She's getting some of her work out there. But as far as when are we going to see this thing? When is it going to be shot? To give you an idea how long it could take, they started working on Section 31, I believe, towards the end of season 1 of Discovery, and we just got that earlier this year.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay.
So don't get too excited, people, about this coming out anytime soon. This could be a long digesting project if it ever comes out. It could be one of those things that never happens. And, just like Star Trek Phase 2, right? Where maybe they develop it, it never comes out, but then they use parts of it later for other stuff. So that could end up happening here, but this is just where we're at with it.
Slow digesting. So you're saying that this project has just been thrown into the Sarlacc pit.
That's right.
And it's going to be slowly digested over 1,000 years.
That's right. Over 1,000 years. Yes.
Got it.
So that's where we're at with that one. And then our last news story. It's a shame that Dan's not here because I had this update just for him, but alas, he'll have to watch the story later. Pop-up ads. Blue Bloods offshoot adds Star Trek actress to its cast, and Captain Burnham, Sonequa Martin Green, has joined the cast of Boston Blue. So I don't know if you watched the Blue Blood show.
I've been watching a lot of TikTok shorts of it, and I started watching it a few years ago, but I think this is going to be my summertime binge show.
Okay.
So, and this has just pushed me over the edge right here.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to binge watch all 92 seasons of Blue Bloods, and then I can move over to Boston Blue.
Boston Bloods. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which yeah. So apparently this new show will be coming out this fall. It'll be on CBS is what I understand. But Sonequa Martin Green basically is sticking with Paramount and CBS, and she's going to be a part of the show. Donnie Wahlberg will also be on the show. So I really hope she does a fake Boston accent because I would crack up at that.
Oh God. That would be wicked smart.
That'd be wicked smart. Yeah. Yeah. I want that so bad. But I don't know if we'll get that. She's a good actress though. So
I liked her in certain parts of Discovery, and she was good in Walking Dead. So.
Yeah. She's good when she's got good material, just like anyone else would be.
Right.
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Good actress.
Good actress. So hopefully she gets good stuff to do there, and because that'd be wicked awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
There you go. And that's all the news.
Okay.
So, oh man, do we have to talk about this movie?
Well, I've got how we went like an hour and a half last week.
That's right.
I'm going to try to break that record.
Okay.
So if you want to go ahead and cue the music, I'll go ahead and give you my synopsis for Star Trek 5.
All right, let's do this.
Fun will now commence.
There you go.
Okay, so I spent about an hour last week talking about Star Trek 4, the one with the whales. So
it's a good one.
Go ahead and buckle up, everybody, because I'm going to start talking about my synopsis. Get your stopwatches ready, and we'll see if I can break the record from last week. Is everybody ready? Okay. So we're going over Star Trek 5, the William Shatner's dumpster fire.
Right.
So here's my synopsis. Spock's brother Sybok steals Enterprise looking for God. The end.
I was just looking.
Mr.
Yes.
Do you want to take this, Daniel? You want to start off?
Sure. So, real quick before we get into this, just because I want to show people just how rough this thing is. On the Rotten Tomato score, it has a 23% from critics and a 25% from fans.
Yeah.
I want to see if that's comparative to Section 31, because that seems to be the new watermark for the low point, I guess. Yeah. So let's see. So we were at 25 and 23, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Okay, share screen. Section 31. Yeah, Section 31 is much worse at 20 and 16%. So
okay. So I guess that's good news for Final Frontier.
Yeah, Final Frontier has moved up a slot.
Yep.
So there we go.
Frontier.
Yeah. So Final Frontier, the plot is kind of meandering. In the last movie, they are given the Enterprise. They actually fly off with it, and we're led to believe we're off to another adventure. This movie starts out with they're all on shore leave. The Enterprise is just a pile of junk, and it looks like there's problems in space. So
in space.
There's been a hostage situation. Some cult leader, it seems like, who walks around, says, "Share your pain with me," and then magically people love him.
Yep.
That's never really explained. Is going around to a place called Paradise City, or is on his way there.
Yes.
And apparently this is a planet that has been co-established by the Federation, the Romulans, and the Klingons. And it's supposed to be like this, if we can all work together here, we can work together anywhere kind of possibility, I guess.
Right.
Which is an interesting concept that's never explored.
Yeah.
But this guy, it ends up his name is Sybok. We find out later he is Spock's half brother, and he basically believes that he wants to go to heaven or Eden or whatever other words they have for it. Basically, God is waiting for him, and he believes that is a physical location at the center of the universe, and they're gonna just go over there.
Yep.
But he needs a ship to get there.
Yep.
And so by kidnapping these people, that's the thing. He kidnaps or takes hostage representatives from the Federation, the Romulans, and the Klingons, and he's hoping to bring a ship to them so he can take it and then go to the center of the galaxy to go meet God. That's basically the premise of the film. As far as when they meet God, what does God need with the starship, as the famous line says? That's never really explained as far as I remember. There's a lot of that's never explained, and that's kind of the problem with this movie, really.
Right.
Is it, if you had written this as a book, it's better because you can get into characters' heads and you can understand what they're thinking. Like when Sybok says, "Share your pain with me," then you could in a novel you can say what the characters are feeling internally, right? Because a book will give you that insight. Whereas with movies, you can't really do that. You can cut away to things and give the allegory of how they feel. You can use voiceover to like internalize monologue, but all of that is really awkward and cumbersome. So you can do it, but to pull it off is really tough.
Well, they did it a little bit in this film with McCoy and Spock.
Yeah, they talk a lot about how they feel.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I think that was the closest they got to being able to sort of express visually what you're talking about. But yeah, everything felt awkward and weird and okay. Yeah. And I didn't get like even how releasing your pain. I understand like releasing your pain, not feeling the pain anymore might make you feel good. I didn't understand how it made you like obey Sybok. You know, it wasn't.
Yeah. I will say this movie made me just more or less lose my shit almost immediately because so this movie was released in let's see, hold on, in 89. Is that correct?
Yeah, 89, and a lot of other things came out in 89 too that it was competing against.
Yeah,
a lot of other big.
So yeah, this is what it is. So this movie was released in 89, and a lot of it takes place in Paradise City. You never once played the Guns N' Roses song Paradise City. And that song came out in 87. So there's no excuse.
Yeah, that's a crime. That's a crime.
They should have had it. Yeah. Right. That's one. That already upset me. But two, I think the concept of a planet where all three governments are forced to work together is actually really interesting.
It is.
And you could have done,
and they glossed over it in the movie.
Yeah,
and it's really you just saw the three people. It was like three ambassadors, kind of like washed out, has been ambassadors. That didn't make any sense what they were doing or why they were there. Or,
yeah.
Know. So Gul Madrid, the guy that played Gul Madrid was the Federation ambassador.
That's right.
The guy that played Kimpek, Chancellor Kimpek, the first Chancellor we see in the Next Generation, was the Klingon ambassador. And I didn't recognize the Romulan female ambassador.
The Federation ambassador, it was driving me nuts because I recognized his voice and I couldn't remember where. And so I had to look it up. And once David I looked Warner. It up, yeah. Do you know what other big role he voiced? I mean, he's voiced a ton, but
Oh, he's voiced a ton.
But
I remember him from Titanic.
Yeah.
Well,
Specifically,
he was
I'm
the
thinking,
he was the Klingon. He was the Klingon chancellor in the next movie.
oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah. But he was
Well,
also the voice of Ra's al Ghul on Batman the Animated Series.
oh, that's right.
Detective. Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
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 Uh-huh.
So yeah,
He was also the scientist in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: The
that's
Secret
right.
of the Ooze.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's
right.
a deep
Yeah.
cut. That's a deep
That
dive.
is a deep cut. You know what that deserves? That absolutely deserves.
Warning, warning, nerd alert, nerd alert.
I mean, we both kind of deserve it in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
So-
all right.
So yeah, so they go to Paradise City. The girls are not pretty. The grass is not green. It's just
Nope.
dirt. They were clearly influenced by Mad Max. That's what it
Very
seems
much
like.
so, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, very much so. And they're going to rescue the hostages with the fan dance and horses somehow.
I read somebody on the production jokingly said, "I want Uhura to do a like a striptease in this movie," and somebody kind of like heard it or got an idea from that.
Oh
from
wow!
that, somebody saying that, it was like, "Oh, we actually could do Uhura doing a strip dance."
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know
Which
how.
I love the idea of
felt
like.
about that, but
Yeah, I love the idea that they're beaming down, or no, they're taking a shuttlecraft down to it, right, to go rescue the hostages. And Uhura's like, okay, we got this top secret mission. We got to go save these people. Let me bring my feathers.
yeah,
You know, because there's no way she would have known. At some point, we're gonna have to distract these people so we can take some horses.
Nope.
She just happened to have her feathers with her.
Well, maybe those feathers are standard shuttle issue.
Break glass in case if you need emergency feathers.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I guess.
Oh,
Yeah, so they get the feathers, they get some horses, they break into the town. That's when they meet Sybok. Spock is not forthcoming as to who Sybok is, just that they kind of know each other. And Sybok talks about his plan to go to the center of the universe. He doesn't really say that he's specifically going to meet God, just that he's going to go to like heaven, basically, or Eden, as he calls
he
it.
wants to find Shakari.
Yeah. Everyone else seems to be just high on his supply and just
Yep.
down for whatever he's saying. It's
Mhm.
it's very odd. It's like a cult leader. And yeah. Through shenanigans, he gets a hold of the Enterprise and off they go. Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Like no, this is so badly strung together. Then they just kind of get there, more or less.
They have to go through the barrier, what they call the Great Barrier, which is actually it was established in where no man has gone before. That the Great Barrier is actually the perimeter of the Milky Way galaxy, not the center of the Milky Way galaxy.
Right.
But
Desiree,
they talk it up. Not in. I don't know if replicators have been invented yet.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Desiree says, "Don't they have replicators on the shuttle?" I don't know if I don't think they've been invented yet. I think it's kind of a new invention.
In TNG, I thought.
Next generation area. Yeah. I mean, they could have some sort of matter synthesizers, or maybe there's birds on the planet, and she just picked up. She's like, "Oh, there's some bird feathers, and there's a feather boa I can grab, or whatever." Maybe she just picked them up from maybe she just picked them up from the hilltop. Like, there's large condor-looking birds that are around, or hawk-looking birds, and they just
thank
shed
God
their
we
feathers.
landed on planet Fashion.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. So they get through the Great Barrier, wherever that is, either internal or external perimeter,
With no drama whatsoever.
with no drama. They just
Yeah,
kind of go
right.
through it, no problem. It's fine.
Yeah.
And right there waiting for them is God, more or less.
There he is.
There
Yep.
he is, and he's got lightning eyes, and he at first seems kind of nice, and then with the minute that Kirk is like, "So what does God need with the starship?" Then God gets really angry, and is like electrocuting people.
Yeah, that actor was played by the same actor that was Admiral Hansen from Best of Both Worlds.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool.
He was one of his ship was one of the ships that was destroyed.
Yeah. They get into it with Sybok too, a little bit about like what are you doing? Why are you doing this? How, that's not God. Why would God need a starship? Why would God do this to people? And then somehow like because God is just a giant floating head, much like Zordon in Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Sybok like breaks through the barrier that God is in, like his tank, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, "Share your pain with me," and I guess they're dead. I don't know what happened, right?
It reminded me of the Wizard of Oz. It reminded me of the wizard, like the giant floating holographic wizard from the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
I mean, that scene did lead to one of my favorite lines of Star Trek, where they're talking, God, or the so-called God is talking to Spock's brother Sybok about, you have a starship and we can let me take the starship and I'll use it to, and Kirk is just like, excuse me, what does God need with a starship?
Yeah.
Like, he's the only one. There's 2 Vulcans there, and he's the only one that's being logical.
Right.
I
Yeah.
really like that scene.
And then they just kind of take off and it's over. Like it's
Sybok mind meld joins with it,
God,
which kind of felt like it felt very Star Trek 1 to me.
Yeah.
When what's his face joined with V'ger, it felt like it was taking, I don't know, it just felt like they were just rehashing storylines from other movies or other TV shows, or not even Star Trek. It just didn't feel very original to me. I mean, I don't know. I didn't like it all that much.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I didn't either. It's like a first draft. Like they had concepts, they put it down, but it wasn't fleshed out. Is the problem? Yeah. That's really its.
There's a ton of nits in this. From like I was just watching the movie. I noticed the one nit I noticed without having to look at IMDb. They're going up the turbo lift shaft, and this is when Spock with the jet boots, right? And I'm looking at the number of the decks in the turbo lift shaft, 78, which is almost twice as many as the Enterprise D. Like they way overestimated the number of decks that this refit Constitution class has. But that was a good scene. I enjoyed that scene where McCoy and Kirk have to get on Spock's boots and they slowly go down because it's too much weight, and then they're like, "Oh, well, hit the thrusters," and then they hit the thrusters and they get shot up to almost the top of the ship.
Yeah,
that was
funny
scene.
Because like Spock didn't do the calculations in his head, but the last movie, like he did calculations for time travel and getting them back.
Yeah, but he missed it by a whole deck. It was weird.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man.
There was another funny scene. It's a kind of an iconic scene when Scotty breaks them out of the unbreakable jail cell.
Yes,
and he's like, "That's amazing." He's like, "There's nothing amazing about it. I know this ship like the back of my hand." Doink, and he hits the bulkhead and knocks himself out. I mean, whether you like it or hate it, it's a funny moment.
It's a funny moment for sure.
There's one other thing that I noticed that I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, bring it up.
I didn't even see it in IMDb and anything. A lot of people make a big deal about Tuvok being a Black Vulcan, and being one of the only Black Vulcans, because Black Vulcans just are not something that's shown in Star Trek. They're just shown as usually Caucasians.
Right.
They're just Caucasians,
which does not make sense for a desert planet.
No, right. During the let me see your pain scene that Sybok has with Spock, where they show Spock's birth.
Yeah.
The midwife or the nurse in that scene is a black Vulcan female.
There you go.
And I would venture to guess that that's the first time that a black Vulcan was shown in a close up.
Yeah,
So they might have been a
probably.
background character before. I'm almost certain they weren't shown as African American in the original series or any of the movies leading up to this.
No, I don't think so. No. Yeah.
So,
We haven't seen them in any of the movies, so
right.
yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
yep.
No, that's a good pool. That is a very good pool.
That's all I got for this movie.
Yeah. Well, okay. So like I did with the last one that was terrible, I started thinking about what I would do different. Right.
Oh, yes. Oh.
Yeah. I don't know if I've got a great answer, but I have an answer. I think that just the concept of that paradise planet is just so much more interesting. And I think you could do so much more with it. So my thought was the movie takes place there, where you still do everything with Sybok and he's trying to capture these people and he takes them hostage, but the whole movie is a hostage situation, right? And then you have representatives from all the other governments there, right? So you have a Klingon ship, you have a Romulan ship, you have the Enterprise. And so now to save their people, these three groups need to work together. They need to be like a Mission Impossible kind of situation and break in and get it. Meanwhile, there's this crazy cult leader talking about how he wants to go meet God, and everyone's like, who the hell is this guy? Right? And then Spock can then say, I know that guy. He's my cousin, not he's my brother.
Right. That would make sense. You wouldn't have to explain away the history of Sarek. And
right.
all that
He's
kind
just
of stuff.
he's a distant cousin. You know, he had been banished long ago from Vulcan society. He's always been a zealot, and now he's overdone it.
That would make so much more sense.
Yeah, you could even do Sybok talking about like just like Babylon or the Tower of Babel was an affront to God. This planet is an affront, and that's why it must be destroyed. This union cannot work. Well, you could do all that sort of religious imagery with it, right? And you do not need God in there. The way you would eventually turn it is that all the different like the Klingons are like, well, we understand God to be this. The Romulans we understand God to be that. The Federation's like, people understood God to be this way. And so the idea being that everybody has their own concepts of God. We don't need to meet him, and Sybok is just a representative of just way over understanding or misinterpreting God and taking it badly. Kind of like a fundamentalism, right?
Right.
As opposed to, you know, where we've gone to now in the future, where we can all work together, and that's not, you know, people aren't, you know, there's no what is it, like inquisitions for your bad faith or stuff like that.
Right.
Whereas Sybok is the representative of somebody who's fundamentalist and purity tests and all these kinds of things.
See, that's
it
more
needs
of
to
a
be
people
fleshed.
story. I
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
more of a people story. Yeah, it needs
Which
to be
is the
fleshed
kind of
out
story
more.
that Star Trek fans like. That's the kind of story that Star Trek likes to tell.
Yeah. It's an allegory, right?
Yeah.
So you could even do the thing where like it's not that faith is bad. It's that you need to, just like anything else, it needs to be within moderation, and it needs to be for the benefit of people, not for the subjugation of people, right?
Yes.
So
right.
So
that'd
and
be
then
the
you
overall
could
theme of your story.
that's the overall theme. You can even do where Kirk and Sybok is about to, you know, it's their big final fight, and Kirk basically shoots him with the line is, I'm gonna let you go meet God. You know, you can talk to him yourself about it. Bang.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
better
something
dialogue
like-
than anything that was in this movie.
Yeah. You know, you just do that, right?
Right.
And then instead of singing row 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 your boat, you end it with them singing Hallelujah or something
Oh,
like
I
that.
love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Because that
yeah,
row, row, row
like
your boat, that was cringy.
right.
It
But
was,
whereas if it ends with like Spock is like, I was reading the religious texts of humans and I came across a song, and then Spock, Kirk's like, oh, I haven't sang this since I was a boy, and they
yeah.
sing that. Yeah,
Oh, that would have been beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah. Now,
yeah,
let me ask you this. Would you still
yeah.
have had the marshmallow making machine?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. You could even, now that I'm saying all this out loud, you could even end it where they sing Hallelujah and Spock says something to the effect of, yes, he was misunderstood, but he was my cousin, and singing this song helps me connect to the good parts of him, the memory.
Yeah. Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
You know.
That's
You're not just shitting on religion, but you're you're
right.
giving it,
Right.
yeah. You're
I
giving
like
balance.
it. I like it.
It's different.
Someday they're going to remake all these movies.
I don't know if they will.
And
But
someday I hope to see your name in the writing credits.
no, I need to work on Airbud. I want my gritty reboot of Airbud.
No, you need to remake Sideways for me.
No, I'm not doing that. I don't drink.
No, you're not going to do that? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Sideways will be
All
left
right.
alone. But
Or
yeah.
Batman Forever.
Oh,
Yeah.
movie. I would love
Yeah,
to do a
remake
Batman movie.
Batman Forever.
Yeah. I'll call it Batman most of the time.
Most of the
Batman Forever.
Batman most of the time. I really like it.
That'll be my movie.
You know, that reminds me. I'll have to find it sometime and find a way to post it. My good friend Steven, he was an English major. He teaches English. He wrote me a like a sort of a script, sort of in play form, where, and this was 25 years ago, where he started asking me, he's like, hey, tell me about this character in Star Trek. Tell me about that character in Star Trek. And I told him a little bit about, he's like, tell me about Data. What is he? Because he doesn't know anything about Star Trek. So I told him a little bit. He wrote me basically a play that starred me as Scott Luck Picard and my friend, Steve was actually Steve the android, and my just a bunch of my friends that had names that he sort of, like an amalgamation of different names and different people. There was Desiree Troy, and it was just a real funny satire take on my friends mashed up with the Next Generation. I'm going to try to find that. It's in a box somewhere, and I'll try to post it online.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
yeah.
It was funny. We were on the USS Marin because at the time I had just bought a Marin brand mountain bike, and the main antagonists were I worked at a place called Meijer. It's a grocery store in the Midwest, and so he created these evil beings called Myorgs, and they were these man machine type Borg type people.
Right.
So I'll see if I can find that and post it on Facebook.
That's awesome.
But,
I just looked it up. The budget for this film was $33 million. The box office was $63 million. Apparently, they had anticipated for it to be a much bigger movie than what it was, which is kind of sad that it was not. But
well, that's part of the problem. Like most of the nits that I saw on IMDb was wires could be seen here and wires could be seen there, and you could tell there was no, like, their post-production sucked. Yeah, it was so rushed. You could see reflections and camera people and boom mics and wires, and So
the other thing too is this came out in '89, and this was up against some really stiff competition. It was up against Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Ghostbusters 2, Batman. So
I mean, that was probably the biggest movie of the year. It was Batman.
Yeah, it was. So, it just plus it's the fifth movie. People tend to have what they call franchise fatigue after a while. So makes sense.
The only franchise that doesn't suffer from that is Fast and Furious.
That's right. Everybody loves those movies.
That's right.
Everybody loves those.
All about family. It's all about family.
Well, should we get to listener feedback?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Listener feedback.
I've got an email.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've got some from our Facebook group. Just
Okay.
real quick. Phil said he's got a soft spot in his heart for this movie. His dad took him to the movies to see it, and he later got a pirated copy and watched it over and over again.
Nice.
But the plot is still terrible.
Nice.
Yeah, and then Duvall says, because I posted that we were going to talk about this specific movie, and he goes, Dan will be on the next week. Gotcha.
Yeah, I saw that. That's funny.
Yeah. We got Chazbiz on the line too, so we'll wait for him. But yeah, share the email real quick, and then we'll get Chazbiz.
Sure. This one's also from Duvall. He says, "Greetings, Daniel and Scott. It's Duvall, your friendly Trekcast freelance New York correspondent. I wanted to share you an additional supplemental video to Trekcast episode 248, which was last week, the one with whales.
Oh,
Again,
that's right,
apologies with the technical difficulties on the stream. So, link below is his quick reaction video for us to share on the Trekcast official channels. We did share that. He shared that on Facebook. So there's a link on the Facebook page where you can see all the stuff. He's also gonna. He said he had posted it, so he's got some interesting musings about the Voyage Home.
Yeah.
He also wanted to know he will not be covering Star Trek Long Island 3 this year. Kind of taking a break from the con, so maybe next year. He's just wanted to say. So I take it we will see Dan on the following week for Star Trek 6, the Undiscovered Countries, as he's it looks like he only does the even movies.
That's right.
So he says thank you for having him on, and see you guys on the next one from Duvall. So thank you, Duvall. Thanks for that video. I really liked your video that you posted. That was good, some good insights. That was really funny. So thank you very much for doing that.
Yeah, thank you so much. And then we got Chazbiz, so let's bring him in. There he is. There's Chazbiz. Hey.
Hello.
Oh man, 2 hats and no hat. I don't know what
two hats. And, you got to go in the middle now.
Yeah. I usually don't wear a hat on this, but my hair is messy. I just got done from working out, so I'm actually wearing my workout shirt. This is a workout shirt. Yeah.
Scott, are you gonna be like the gym is over that way, bro?
Yeah, the gym's over there.
Yeah.
Let's climb a rock.
So I got my Rito shirt on because on the Cerritos they wear these PT shirts.
That's right.
Rito
that's right.
shirt. So,
yeah. Right on.
Wear that when I'm working out.
Yeah.
So I didn't have time to do my hair.
That's true. Hair and makeup will be there soon enough.
I don't know why I just thought of this. We saw an alien in the bar. That was a cross between the 3-breasted alien from what's that movie?
From Total Recall.
Total Recall, and what's the female doctor from the Cerritos? What's her name? What's her?
Oh, the cat doctor.
Is that a Katarian?
I think so. I don't know. I'm bad with that.
On that one scene where she's dancing.
Yeah,
she's dancing, but then she attacks Kirk later. Yeah, and then Kirk throws her into the pool table, and I say that with quotes because it was a water-based billiards game.
Yeah,
and so the cat, it's a cat-like person, which you can see a wire operating the tail, by the way.
Right,
and
right.
It's like it looks like a Katarian, but she's got three. She's got
3 of them.
And it reminded me
kicked off the show, but about cat.
It reminded me of it reminded me of a conversation that that Mayweather and Tucker had on Enterprise, where they were talking about different places that Mayweather had been to, and he's like, so I hear that the women on that planet have, and he's like, yep, 3.
Wow.
So
that's awesome.
Klingon's got double D's, so
that's true.
That's true. And according to lower decks, they have boob windows.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
So
finally, somebody mentioned
these windows were double hung.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the movie, Chazbiz?
I probably saw this one the most as a kid because for some reason on HBO it was on repeat.
Okay.
Like
The rights were
what,
probably
came
cheap.
out.
Probably.
It came out in '89, so it probably came on HBO around '90, and it was just recycled all summer long.
Yeah.
So I watched this one the most. Had no idea what the hell was going on, but
Yeah.
but I liked the movie.
As a kid, did you think, "Oh, I just don't understand this," or did you think,
Yeah,
"Oh,
I
this is
thought
bad"?
I just don't get it, and I was like, God, like,
No, he's thinking, oh look, triple boob cat lady.
That's right.
yeah. I was like, there's cat lady, there's all this, and then her is dancing with this
Happy Mother's Day.
feathers. That makes no sense. You know, it starts off. You know, the movie actually starts off kind of cool because they're kind of chill, they're relaxing, they're on a trip together.
Do
And
you wanna
McCoy's
feel
like screaming because he's climbing that rock and he's gonna die. And, you know,
I'm just.
Can I just say
reading
for the
about-
record that I think that people that rock climb are insane?
Oh yeah, yeah.
oh
Okay?
yeah, they have a
I
death wish.
I just want that on the record. Okay.
So
Well, the people that climb a rock without any rigging, yeah, they have a death wish.
yeah.
So
I'm reading about the original home release, which was December 21, 1989.
okay.
And this is going to make you feel old. This is how it was released originally. It was released on VHS, Laserdisc, and Betamax.
Ooh, Laserdisc
All
and
great.
Betamax.
I had a
Yeah.
friend with a Betamax, and I was so confused what it was back then.
I didn't even bother with the special features. There was nothing extra I wanted to know about this movie.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I didn't.
remember he was supposed to fight that rock monster, and then that got taken out.
Right, and they
Probably
put
too
it
much
in Galaxy
budget,
Quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Go for his vulnerable spot. It's a rock. It doesn't have any vulnerable spots.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
I would have loved to have seen the guy in the rock monster costume fighting Kirk.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of the special features because I would like to know, in case anybody has the re-release Blu-ray of Star Trek 4. I didn't notice this until it was too late to watch it before the show last week, but there is director commentary from there's 2 director commentaries on that Blu-ray, and
Oh, wow.
one of them is from Alex Kurtzman and who was the other guy that co-produced Star Trek?
Orsi?
Yes.
Robert
There's
Orsi?
the late Robert Orsi.
Yeah.
So there's a DVD commentary from them about Star Trek 4, and I
Oh,
haven't watched it
interesting.
yet, but I'm going to. And then there's
Yeah.
also another DVD commentary, I think, like with William Shatner and Harv Bennett and Leonard Nimoy. So if you
Oh,
have
cool.
the Blu-ray copy, check it out.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, this movie was it was for a kid, I liked it. Now the movie score was great because it's Jerry Goldsmith again.
Mhm.
They brought him back.
Yes, he is my
Yeah.
favorite composer.
Yeah, because like I hear it and I was like, oh man, because Horner's great. I really liked Horner's music on Wrath of Khan and Star Trek 3.
Mhm.
But this one, like you could hear that, because you have the Next Generation theme going. You have, even though it's really their theme because that's the motion picture theme.
Right.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm happy that they made the next movie because that was the best send off ever.
Absolutely. It
Because
had
if
the
they
best
ended
story.
with this would have been like oh, that sucks.
Yeah, Undiscovered
Yeah.
Country. I can't wait to review the Undiscovered Country. Because it's
I know you guys
fantastic
said
movie.
you're going to do it at 8 a.m. next week, which is insane.
Mhm. I know it's
Postpone
early.
it a week.
Yeah, it's because the week after we can't do a show. So
Oh, you can't. Where you guys?
Right. Well, it's Memorial Day weekend, and next week
Oh,
I have
yeah.
some obligations with the Patriot Guard
Right.
riders and some other things. So I
so
wanted to be
to
able to do
go.
that. So it was either no show, and we didn't want to do a no show because we're doing the Undiscovered Country. So
Well, it'd be no show for 2 weeks. That sucks.
it'd be no show for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. That's why it's so
Yeah.
early next week.
So,
Yeah, that's why it's so early next week. So.
and you don't have to be. I mean,
Now, if you talk really long, I might come in at 8:50.
Yeah, we'd just be wrapping it up probably.
Yeah.
does Dan know we're doing an hour early?
I mean, he's in the
I'd love
group
to see
chat. He
Dan.
saw
He's
it.
in the group chat, so he might know.
Yeah,
Just come in early.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see.
he'll just have
It'll
to
be
warm
good.
up the shuttle an hour early.
That's right. Yeah.
Well,
Do the
it's
pre-flight.
warming up right now. It's probably
Yeah.
not too bad outside.
I don't know his weather, but
Yeah.
here it's not so bad. But
I went on.
Yeah.
We went on a motorcycle ride yesterday. So we went.
Oh,
we went
nice.
over to the lake shore. We visited my cousin and also my wife's cousin at
Mhm.
two separate campsites in the same campground. One of my favorite campgrounds over by the lake shore, which is Lake Michigan, and we
Right.
went out to eat. And so yeah, it was our first motorcycle ride for Des and I. So
Oh, that's cool.
little chilly, but still
Yeah.
comfortable with the right attire. So
Oh, good.
yeah.
Good.
Do you
Yep.
have your Trekcast patch on your jacket yet?
I do have my Trekcast.
Nice.
Yeah, as a matter of fact,
There you go.
Show and tell right now, guys.
Yeah, he's gonna
Missing
go
out.
off and get it.
yes, I
Um,
do.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
So,
Right on.
Yeah.
It's freaking awesome.
Right on.
speaking of Trekcast patches, that was the old merch store.
That's right.
The new merch store doesn't have the patches, but my wife has a request
Okay.
for the merchandise store. Bumper stickers.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, just Trekcast
Yeah.
bumper stickers. So
I will ask. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Because
will ask.
yeah, you'll definitely get a couple from her.
Well, just stickers would be good too.
Or stickers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
She
don't know.
had that
Right.
Trekcast, that little tiny one that she got from when we first met you guys.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
She had that on her bumper for
Oh,
a long
wow.
time, and then it faded off. So yeah,
Oh,
she
okay.
needs some more Trekcast stickers.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to ask about that.
Okay.
Because yeah, Chop Tees mainly handles the shop now.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's up and running. If you guys are wanting that, the big thing about Chop Tees is free shipping in most countries.
Yes.
Which is kind of nice because with everything going on, because they come from your country, your area,
Mhm.
there's probably not a tariff. So
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And I
so-
ordered one of these shirts from Chop Tees, and it's I'm not just saying this to blow
Is it
smoke.
more comfortable than the other one?
Oh yeah,
It-
yeah.
Yes,
Is it?
yes,
Okay.
and I've had cheap T-shirts and I've had expensive T-shirts.
Mhm.
And the cheap T-shirts are the kind of like the silky print, and they're
Yeah.
these are 100% cotton, which is the only kind of shirt I can wear because I'm allergic to polyester.
Yeah.
And I wear this as an everyday shirt. Like I'll
Oh,
wear it
nice.
working out. I'll wear it just out and about. It's one
Yeah.
of my go-to T-shirts that I probably
Oh,
wear
nice.
more than any other shirt, and
Yeah.
it still holds up after many washes. So.
Oh, that's great.
Like I said,
Yeah.
that's the honest to God's truth. It's a great quality
Yeah.
T-shirt. So if you want to support the show, head on over to Trekcast.com and click on merchandise,
Yeah.
shop or store. Yeah, okay.
Something like that. Yeah, it's there. So
Yeah, so we'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
awesome.
And give me a Chop Tees because my other one's wearing out the one I wore to Europe. So
Oh yeah, it's time for another one.
it's time
Yeah.
for another one and another big trip somewhere.
There you
so.
go.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Show off.
And
Just-
we do have a coffee account too. KO
That's right.
FI
Yeah, I got it there.
ko-fi.com/Trekcast. If you want to support the
Mhm.
show, head on over there, and we would really appreciate it. So
Yeah, we appreciate your support.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I think that's pretty much wrapping up the show.
Well,
if we're getting to plugs. So
hey,
you failed to mention the guy that played in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Ra's al Ghul. He was in Tron as the bad guy.
oh yeah.
oh,
He was
okay,
the
yeah,
main
Yeah.
villain at Tron.
He's in a lot of stuff.
That guy
He's
was
in
in
a lot of
Babylon
stuff.
5. He was in a ton of stuff back then.
Nice.
he was Gul
he always
Madrid,
had a
who
distinct
tortured,
voice.
Picard in Chain of Command.
Yeah. I mean, that guy was in everything
That's awesome.
in the 80s and 90s. Like, we need a villain. He's pretty
Get
cheap.
him.
Yeah, grab him.
Yeah. That's funny.
When are you guys
Oh,
going to do your
boy.
Babylon 5 review?
I've never seen Babylon 5.
Oh yeah, we're probably next week. We're gonna
Yeah.
do our Babylon 5 review Memorial Day weekend. So
Okay, just
so
watch it
be
all.
sure to tune in for that. We're gonna
Be
review
involved.
the entire series in one episode.
Okay.
So yep.
I can't remember if
we're
it's
also
out
gonna
yet,
do
but I know
Sequest at the same time.
it might be out already, but if not, very soon. But Paddington 3 is coming to Netflix, so we're gonna have to.
Have you seen it, Daniel?
I have not seen it yet.
You didn't go to the theater to see it?
No,
Okay.
I have
You
been
didn't get
so.
the free popcorn bucket.
You'll see Benicio del Toro. It's Antonio Banderas.
I
Still
could
see-
not, in good conscience, be a grown ass man and be like, I want one for Paddington 3, please.
Well, I have a
sit
wife,
there by
so I
myself.
do have an excuse.
Yeah, that might put you on a list.
Yeah.
I do have a wife, so that does help out.
Yeah, I don't.
'Cause
So
it's like-
yes.
It's one of those things. I really want to
Yeah.
see this movie, but it's a kiddie movie. But
It's a very kiddie movie. So I
I think you're
Right.
better seeing those late because there's no kids than seeing those early. Because if you see them in the daytime, because that's when the moms take all the kids.
right, and I like going to
In the
movies during the
daytime.
day. So I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be like, hey, one for the kids film, please.
Let me sit on your row.
Yeah, that'll definitely get you put on a list.
Hey, you kids like talking bears? Like,
Oh no!
yeah.
Well, Daniel brings this Paddington bucket and this.
That's
little
right.
Hat. He's all dressed as Paddington.
Daniel, you should do voiceover work.
No, I'm not gonna do.
You can be a writer, producer, and do voiceover. You can be a triple
No.
threat.
Oh, that's it. That's the
Yeah.
goal. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're pretty much at the end. Now if I'm bringing out voices. So,
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thanks everybody for listening. Next week we're going to be doing the show an hour early, so it's going to be we're going to start at 9:00 Eastern Central Time.
That's right.
Which means it's going to be what time for you, Daniel?
6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Yeah.
Pacific time, 7 a.m. Mountain time.
Yeah.
So
That's ridiculous, but yes,
8
I will do
a.m.
it.
Central. Okay.
So
I
don't-
really appreciate it.
Note
It's
to
all I
self,
can
don't
do.
drink Saturday night.
Don't
Yeah.
drink Saturday night. But it's for a good cause. I'm doing a Patriot Guard mission. So
That's right. That's right.
I appreciate it. And we're
Yeah,
going to be doing
absolutely.
Undiscovered Country, the greatest
That's right.
Star Trek the original series movie of all time.
We're gonna
So-
discover the undiscovered country. Yes.
Yes, we are.
All right.
Yeah.
See you guys next week. Bye.
This is Captain Benjamin Sisko of Deep Space Nine and Space God to the Bajorans. I have a mission for you. This falls outside of Starfleet guidelines, so I can't order you, but I'm asking for volunteers. Volunteers who will subscribe to the Trekcast YouTube channel, leave 5-star reviews on your podcast app of choice, and share Trekcast across your social media accounts. If we can make our audience bigger, we might have a chance against the Dominion. Are you ready? Subscribe, like, and share. Are you with me?